Now on Daybreak, and with Election Day being tomorrow, 2 on Your Side's Dave McKinley looks back on some of the big races from decades ago and resurrects some politicians of the past and our annual News to You Election Week special.
Election 2014 saw Andrew Cuomo win his second term as governor, and his running mate, Western New York's Kathy Hochul, elected lieutenant governor. Cuomo would win another term before resigning amid a sexual harassment scandal, elevating Hochul to the governor's mansion, where she remains today. Nationally, Republicans celebrated victories that allowed the GOP to capture both houses of Congress.
Voters across America chose Republicans in a rejection of President Obama.
During one victory speech, a senator-elect from North Carolina uttered a phrase he probably should have trademarked had he known how popular it would become just a few years later. Take a listen.
America is made great when we let Americans make America great, not government.
During the election of 2014. Election 2004, George W. Bush won a second term as president, defeating John Kerry. In Western New York's hottest race, Brian Higgins won his first term in Congress, defeating Erie County Comptroller Nancy Naples. Higgins would go on to serve nearly 20 years in the House of Representatives before resigning to become the head of Shays Theater. Naples would go on to become state DMV commissioner. It was also one of the last years voters in these parts would see these types of voting machines due to a mandate to change from mechanical to electronic tabulators.
These machines are extremely reliable.
How reliable?
Only twice in 12 years did a single counter miscalculate a vote.
Election 1994.
I'm not your rabbi, I'm not your priest, I'm not your conscience.
And he wouldn't be your governor for much longer either, as Mario Cuomo's bid for a fourth term was ended by George Pataki, who would go on to serve 3 terms himself. This was also the first of 3 times when future Sabres owner Tom Golisano would run for governor on the independence line. And Buffalo lawyer Dennis Vacco, a former U.S. attorney for Western New York, surprised the pundits by winning the race for New York State Attorney General as a Republican during the election of 1994. Election 1984, Ronald Reagan won a second term as president, defeating Walter Mondale in one of the biggest landslides in modern history. Reagan amassed over 500 electoral votes and winning 49 out of 50 states, including New York, and remains the last Republican presidential candidate to win the Empire State, during when, strangely enough, Republican states were denoted in blue on maps and Democrats red. Closer to home, Jack Kemp was reelected to Congress, and voters in Niagara County rejected a proposition that would have established an office of county executive. And back in those days, for our election night coverage, we had a desk at party headquarters with one of those old school phones on it. And neater still, our own lapel pins during the election of 1984, when it was all news to you.